Now, if you are either one, my friend or real life, or you're like a real fan, like a surprising level of fan, then you know that the Migos are my favorite rappers. So you obviously would think, oh my goodness, I was extremely sad when Takeoff died. That is true. I was extremely sad. I cried a little bit. However, this event has sadly led to probably the best solo outing from the Migos in general, at least at the time of making this. The Rocket Power is a really good album. You can tell Quavo had so much hunger and so much emotion making it. It's amazing. I'm not going to say it's album of the year because obviously Utopia is album of the year and it's probably going to stay that way. However, some of my favorites on this album were Fueled Up, the intro, Patty Cake featuring Takeoff, Turn Your Click Up with Future, Greatness, Wall to Wall, and 1111. Now, there was a lot of controversy that kind of led up to this album between Quavo and Offset. Quavo had dropped multiple singles before this, Greatness being one of those singles, and also being probably the best one out of all of them. Turn Yo Click Up was a single from the album featuring Future that has a really, really, really good Future verse on it. That had me super excited hearing this hunger that I don't think we've heard from Quavo in quite a long time. The whole album has fantastic beat selection. A lot of like big banging, booming, uplifting sounding album, or a lot of sounding beats, and I think that makes the album sound so much better for the vibe that you get listening to it. And like I said, he sounds super hungry. He ate up every single beat he was on. I do think the album could have used a few more features for its length, because there's only in total 3. If you include Future and Takeoff and another Takeoff and another Future. I'm pretty sure that's all of them. However, all these features are really good. These are all good features. That's not the problem. It's just that there could have been a few more that might have helped out in a couple songs, maybe not made them feel as quick and out, or made them feel like they had a little more life to them. The second half of the album is for sure not as good as the first half, but the first half is non-stop goodness. If the second half was as good as the first half, this would be a 10 out of 10 album probably. But, it's gonna fall down a little bit, because this is probably the best Quavo has been in his whole career besides in 2017. It's going to be hard to listen to a full-fledged, long album by Quavo and not feel like, it'd be nice to hear another voice by now. I do think it would have been really nice to hear a Offset collab on here, but these two grown men, they've dealt with some heavy loss. They're going to obviously have their own emotions. Offset said in an interview recently that he will probably, they're cool now. They've just got their own little emotions, and there probably will be collaborations by them in the future, which I'm still holding out for. It would have been really nice to hear on this album, though. It would have been nice to hear a Quavo feature on Offset's album, but we gotta wait a little longer, and that's okay. I think something that really cool has come from this album is realizing that Future and Quavo are a really good duo, and I hope this leads to them making a lot more music in the future. A lot of this album has, the high points are when Quavo is just eating up the beat. He's going quick, fast bars, not really trying to do too much melodic. However, the melodic parts of the album do sound really good. I think the singing-ish, beginning part of Fueled Up is some of the, a real high point on the album. But overall, the highs on this album are some of the highest highs we've seen Quavo have, and the lows don't stoop low at all. Overall, I'd give this album about an 8 out of 10. I would 110% recommend it.